these incredible scenes. One of my favorite actors from a show I love, Schitt's Creek. Have any of you watched that show, Schitt's Creek? Won many, many, many awards. Canadian show. It's literally called Schitt's Creek, but it's set at a creek called Schitt's, Schittts. It's Eugene Levy and his son, I forget, Levy, and great Canadian comics. Eugene Levy's home burnt down in Los Angeles. We just learned yesterday, and quite a few others. At the same time, you may not be aware Trump's new administration is being put together. The cabinet members, the foreign energy, the Secretary of Foreign Relations, or the Secretary of Energy and Education and Health, they're all being selected right now. They're going through confirmation hearings, the American Congress. The Energy Secretary, who's just been chosen by Donald Trump to be the new Energy Secretary in the United States, has said very clearly, science is wrong. The wildfires are not a result of climate change. Now, well, let's explore this for a second. Why would he say something like that? All modern international science has accepted fully that there is this thing called anthropogenic change on the planet. Humans are driving a lot more of the ecological changes. Why might somebody responsible for energy policy who is hoping to be selected, would he say that the wildfires are not caused in any way by humans? Brandon, do you want to, and yeah, just hold the mic for Brandon and then we'll go around.
He's fear mongering tactics.
He's fear
And
mongering, maybe, or
they're trying to say that it's all the Democrats' fault.
all the Democrats' fault. We're going to go around before I say anything. Barack has put his finger on something that's really important to think about in terms of our destinies. When politics and science start to get all messed up together, who wins in the end? And if it's politics, then the quality of information we get gets lower and lower because it's not based on science anymore. But let's see who else wanted to answer the question, because there's an important question to answer here about who is this guy who's been selected to manage the energy policies of the largest democracy on the planet with the biggest military and the most influence. Who is this guy? Where does he come from? Do you want to try? Yeah, go ahead. Take the microphone. Yep. Oh, just flip it up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I may not have shown you last week. I'll help you this way. See, I'm really good with tech. I know how to turn things on. Go ahead.
So I think he'd make a statement like that because he's corrupt.
Okay, well, that's a big, broad. We could say everybody's corrupt, and then we'd be so depressed. We'd say all politicians are corrupt, and Trudeau's corrupt, and Pierre Poilievre is corrupt, and Jasmeet Singh is corrupt, and Mark Carney's corrupt, and Chrystia Freeland's corrupt, and Donald Trump's corrupt, and then you just go to bed and go, you just bring the gun now and end it, please. I don't want to wake up tomorrow. Yes. So good point, but let's go a little further than that. Okay, why would he say that?
I would say maybe because he's probably an extreme person and wants to like attract, or he knows that people will respond to something like that.
Yeah, being provocative, really, like he knows people. Maybe, but there's something even more simple here that I'll help you with. Okay, let's see. Let's give everyone a chance. Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to say, I think that the reason that he said that is because if you say that climate change isn't real, then that means you don't have to invest in any money in solving it. You don't have to invest any resources, and you can just divert that money somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's True, and we know that as a politician, Melanie Joly, our foreign minister, who was going to run to replace Justin Trudeau but decided not to, she said that the number one job of a prime minister is the economy, is to deal with the economy. Okay, so economic questions are very important. We're still not there, but we're getting kind of warm. Okay, why would this person say such a thing? And we're watching all these people die. We know how dry the land has been, like massively dry for weeks and weeks and weeks, like tinder. And those cinders, those little cinders, are popping all over the place and lighting up more trees. These firefighters are trying to get individual cinders, but they can't because the wind's blowing. So, I mean, it's an incredible challenge.
Well,
Yes.
my personal opinion is that he got dropped on his head a bit too many times growing up.
He what?
Got dropped on his head a bit too many times, but kind of touching on other things,
Okay.
there,
That's-
he
we don't know, but
could be-
okay.
he could be corrupt. He could be trying to find a way to divert the money to something else, but it also could be he just doesn't believe in it. He doesn't believe that the climate's changing. He believes that he could possibly believe that this was caused by an arsonist or by nature itself or
Sure.
God. There's many different ways, reasons he could think that climate change is real, but we wouldn't know because we're not in his head.
But you make a good point. You make a good point in terms of something about corruption. Let's go a little deeper here. Let's get a definition for the moment of corruption. We're just in the review part with your when we talk about, and we all do this. We've already started doing it. All politicians are corrupt.
We're all corrupt in some
Every-
way.
you know, this is the easy thing to do. You just say everything's corrupt, and then you have to wash your hands of things, and you just go, "Oh, they're all idiots, but I'm good. But I'm not going to be part of the solution. I'm not going to help clean things up." This is what we often do. This is the coward in us. Now, hold on. What does corruption mean?
Corruption is defined as dishonest or fraudulent conduct typically by those in power, often involving bribery.
Yes.
So mean something's changed from its original meaning to something more negative.
Corruption also means that you have a vested interest. And that interest is usually around enhancing or enriching yourself. Is it possible that this energy secretary has said that because in some ways he could make more money saying that?
Probably.
Well, guess what? He was and has remained a long-time executive in the oil industry. And he does not believe that the burning of oil leads to global warming. And he has a vested interest in protecting the oil industry, in ensuring that it grows, more oil is extracted, and that he, just like Elon Musk, who invested $277 million in the Republican cause. That's Donald Trump and the Republicans. Elon Musk spent $277 million helping those people get elected. Is it possible that what we're seeing right now, not just in the United States, but elsewhere, but particularly around climate change, is that people are putting their financial interests ahead of the common good? I don't know if that's true, but I think Burak is helping us to kind of go in that direction a little bit, or maybe not, and think about, we should think about politics and scientific research getting involved, because in the end, it can really degrade the quality of that information. Yeah.
Stupid. Well, trust me, politicians do know everything, but they just pretend they don't because it's easier to get attraction when you say something wrong. In people's mind, you always, tend to say the opposite when somebody is plainly wrong. It gets more attraction.
Gets more
You say
attention.
like a correct thing, everybody's like, "Yeah, you're right," and that's it. When
Well,
I say something wrong, everybody has an opinion about it, ways to tell it. So more traction, easier traction, and it kind of strays away from the main topics like climate change. It becomes an issue of you're an idiot. Trust me, they're not. They know their stuff. They're smarter than us.
oh, well, I'm not so sure about that at all, actually, given what I see every semester with some pretty smart students. But I'm just going to give you one interesting thing that has been said around this, and then we're going to move on. It's a cliche, and I hope I get this right, that a lie travels around the world while the truth is still putting its shoes on. A lie travels all the way around the world while the truth is still putting its shoes on. What do you think that means in the era of blasting sharing of information, where there's a lot of untruth? Yeah, oh, good. Good. Okay. What does that mean? That the truth is putting its shoes on and the lie is all over.
So my interpretation might be like a lie is generally more interesting. It's more we use the word fear mongering, and it's a lot more exaggerated than the truth sometimes, and therefore people are more willing to talk about it and spread it, especially when it has to do with something we fear. That's gonna, we evolve to communicate fears and dangers a lot faster than anything else. Uh, I believe.
Sure.
So that's why I think.
Okay. Very, very, very good. Let's see what you think, because I want you to understand that as we go forwards as the human race together on planet Earth in this connected technological civilization, how we share information today is hugely important. What we say to each other online is hugely important. But now we're at a time in 2025 that when people make things up online and it gets a lot of attention, there are real life consequences now to what happens. When this all started in the beginning of the 21st century and the internet was growing and so much information was being made up and shared, we weren't really thinking about the cost so much. But now we have people taking their own lives, people stressed out, big demonstrations of people coming together in countries based on a lie that was said. And so how we communicate and what we say is really important. That's why I just want us to make sure we're clear about this, okay? And then we'll move on. Our destiny has a lot to do with how we communicate and what we say to each other. Do you want to try it and take the microphone?
Was going to say
There we are.
my interpretation of it was like it's kind of like how social media when they see something or like they say something, they just post it first, but then when the truth gets out, it's usually like they have to collect the proof in order to like,
Yeah, and it takes more time and it's
prove it.
kind of boring and it's all this work. And
Yeah, and then
so-
it's either like the people will actually believe the truth, or they'll be like, I'm not gonna read all that, and then like just stick to the lie that was told.
So knowing how to figure out what's true is a huge problem. I face it every single time I have to mark a discussion post or a paper now. But maybe as we discuss and as we go forwards now with today's class in terms of the content, the important content, we can, through our interaction together and really being able to talk about these things, become more intelligent, listening to each other, using the great thing called the human brain with how many billions of neurons. It's like an electric, circus going on in here. The brain actually makes a sound, of all those neurons moving information around synapses. And there's like trillions of connections between the neurons. And this incredible instrument, the human brain, has been evolving for hundreds of millions of years. Good luck to Elon Musk and all those techies who think they can create a human brain through a neural network after evolution has needed millions and millions and millions of years to perfect or at least create this. Humans come along and we're going to create artificial neurons and artificial connections and robots that good luck, but you can go and try. But the human mind is something very, very special. Yes. Go ahead. Good. The human brain.
I was just saying to add to what he said earlier, like people not like just because something is long, they're not gonna read it like to find the truth. So I think like status is a good thing because
Status?
Yeah.
Status. Go on. Yeah.
so like for instance Elon Musk, he could be saying something that's a lie, and like me who's like a little regular could be saying the truth. Just because he's Elon Musk, they're like, yeah, I'm listening to him.
Yeah.
But he's probably telling a lie. Like little regular guy like me is telling the truth. No one's gonna listen to me because he's just a little regular.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing like these days.
We have to be conscious of these things. What's your name again?
Giovanni.
Giovanni. Thank you, Giovanni, for that. Let's move on from review and feedback, and I want to introduce you to something really important today in terms of how to think about the future. In a moment, I'm going to show you a video from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it's called Free Your Mind. And the video is about 15 years old. I've been trying to find a better one, but this one has been really good. It's been standing up over time. And if, as you watch this, it's a 5-minute video and you think there's a better, more contemporary version of this, please let me know, because I'm always looking for current things. I always want to keep things current. But let's just bring up Free Your Mind for a second and just don't start it. Just get ready. And for those of you Corson and for Kesh and others online, Corson, are you able to click on Free Your Mind in the Class 2 folder? Just let us know. Put a yes in there, because I just want to make sure that the online participants or classmates are able to access this. I'll assume you can, because it's there. Okay, so for Corson and for Kalesh, if you're with us, go ahead and please just turn off your microphone so we can't hear anything, and go ahead and watch the video. I'd like you to be introduced to something about how to think about the future, and it's called forecasting. Now, there's a fundamental difference between thinking about the future as a futurist. Ray Kurzweil there is one of our most important futurists today. He used to be a senior engineer at Google. He is the one who has predicted that there's a coming singularity in 2029. The singularity, singular means unique. That's what the word singularity, which he's written about in his book called The Spirit of New, I'll get it from my library next week. Title is escaping me. The Spirit of Machines. He is a great advocate for artificial intelligence surpassing human intelligence. And he has even given a date. And his predictions often have proven true over the years. He has said in 2029, and he said this quite a few years ago, we will hit the singularity. And what is that? That is the moment when machine intelligence irreversibly surpasses human intelligence, and everything is going to change. It's going to be a game-changing reality for us, so we have to deal with that. We'll see. We can look at these things. He's a futurist. He has a position, and he's passionately, enthusiastically trying to tell us this is going to happen. Be ready. But then there are all these other people, the forecasters, and they're not so enthusiastic, and they're not advocates. They're analysts. They're rationalists, if you will. They are trying to look at the future based on what could happen. What are all the different scenarios? They're trying to be more realistic. That's what I want to focus on with you today, but I will be bringing in some of what Ray Kurzweil has to say and many other futurist science fiction writers and others. But for our purposes, your purposes, it's important to be realistic, and we need ways to forecast and think about the future in realistic ways. This is what the video does from MIT, is it helps us introduce ourselves to a few techniques around what's called scenario planning. And when we're done with this video today, I'm going to put you into small teams, and you're all going to go to the different pods, and you're going to work together with a pen. You'll be able to draw there together different scenarios that we will discuss in a moment. And those scenarios, Maureen will be able to put up on the board all at the same time. So we're going to have a big think tank going of you writing stuff. We're watching what's being up here and to understand what scenarios are interesting, realistic, and maybe pie in the sky. But you need some skills. So go ahead and can you run Free Your Mind? A little bit dated, but it's helpful.
Scenario planning is a brainstorming technique that can help organizations better prepare for the future. In general, though, most organizations are not good at making long-term plans. This is because all people, even professional forecasters and planners, tend to be provincial when looking into the future. We all cling to those things that make sense from our current vantage point and dismiss those that do not. In order to be better at planning, we need to free our minds from our own self-limiting preconceptions. These preconceptions can make us think that the world of tomorrow and beyond will be the same as it exists today. We tend to forget how yesterday looked or how we arrived at the conditions of today. Looking back, it sometimes seems that the path to the present was obvious and almost preordained. It never seems so at the time, of course. In fact, the path to the future is a series of crossroads and intersections that only become clear once the future has become the past. Because we are tethered to our preconceived view of the world, we are often surprised by how events actually unfold. By freeing our minds, we can overcome the common trap of looking into the future through today's lenses and escape the fate that many others have met through history. Take, for example, the Great Force Mill crisis of the 1890s. In 1898, urban planners in New York City were convinced that they were about to face a terrible urban transportation disaster, excessive horse manure. At the time, the horse population in New York City and Brooklyn alone exceeded 150,000, and it was on the rise. With each horse producing between 15 and 30 pounds of manure each day, this resulted in more than 2 million pounds of manure on the city streets every day. It was estimated that manure would reach the third floor of buildings in Manhattan by 1930. The crisis was such that the first International Urban Planning Conference held in New York City was canceled after just 3 of its planned 10 days. The reason? They could not foresee a solution to the horse manure problem. As we all know now, their predictions did not come true, and the horse manure crisis never happened. Interestingly, by 1890, a long-term solution was readily evident. The automobile had already moved from the lab to full-scale production. By the turn of the century, over 4,000 cars were sold in the U.S. And by 1912, the first year New York City registered all cars and horses, the number was 356,000. City planners of the time couldn't stop thinking about horses. Nobody seemed to come across the question, what if horses are on their way? While it's quaint to think of the horse manure crisis as just an isolated story in the distant past, rapid, unforeseen changes occur right under our noses all the time, and usually we are oblivious to them until it is too late. An example closer to the present is the quartz crisis that occurred in the 1970s. The Swiss watchmaking industry dominated the world market for mechanical watches after World War II. It peaked in the late 1960s when they captured approximately 50% of the total worldwide market. Then, within a little more than a decade, they account for less than 10%. The cause of this loss was the introduction of a quartz technology that displaced the need for traditional mechanics. Ironically, this innovation was pioneered by a Swiss engineer and offered to the domestic watchmaking industry, but they could not see the value. Japan and the United States, on the other hand, did not miss this opportunity. Soon they were producing the majority of the world's watches using this new technology. That is why in Japan and the United States, this is referred to as the quartz revolution rather than the quartz crisis. The Swiss industry was convinced quartz was a fact and only belatedly caught on, but not before they lost their historical advantage. In other cases, it is easy to forget where the present is coming from. We take what we have today for granted without ever thinking how impossible it would have seemed if we tried to imagine it before it was around. Take, for example, a regular smartphone. Just 10 years ago, replicating the technology found today in a single smartphone would require half a dozen different devices, each of which could be several times larger than the actual smartphone itself. This would include, among other things, a watch, a calendar, an address book, a calculator, a music player, photo camera, video camera, a motor, photo album, television, a GPS, and many more, in addition to the phone itself. Many of these technologies did not even exist in the commercial market 10 years ago. More cases can be found everywhere, and not just in technology. Who would have thought in 1970 that China was going to move from the United States' 60th largest trading partner to the second in just a few decades? Who would have thought the majority flow of container traffic in the United States would switch from domination of East Coast ports to West Coast ports in just 6 short years? Who would have imagined that an entire industry could appear, blossom, dominate, and disappear within just 3 decades, as the home video rental industry did? Blockbuster opened their first store in 1985, and by the 1990s, it was opening a new store every 17 hours. Yet by 2011, less than 20 years later, it went bankrupt. These are just a few examples. Before conducting any planning event, it is important to recognize the provincial limitations in time. Try to free your mind from these shortcomings and think creatively about the future by suspending both your current beliefs and disbeliefs. Open yourself up to potential futures that you don't think will occur. In this way, you will better prepare yourself for whatever future actually happens.
Great. You can just leave that frozen there for a second. Who can write in this class or doesn't mind writing or even likes to write? Like letters, alphabet, human creation, A, B, C, L, A, class. I'm hungry now. If I just kept that thought in my head, I'm hungry now, but I didn't actually articulate it, then nobody else would know I'm hungry and would say to you, oh, there's a Tim's over there. You just get grumpier and grumpier. But language is such a powerful thing. We humans invented it. I'm trying to sell you on writing. Okay. Who likes to write? There's a very big power. I need someone to go on the board. Yes. And your writing is okay? Lovely. Okay. Take this and we'll leave him there. And I want to show you how this is going to work. And I want to get you set up for, Maureen will show you. Okay. Thank you, Maureen. And I'm getting you ready for a little exercise where you're going to work together. You're all going to be writing on these boards shortly. So what's the point of this video? What is this video trying to tell us that's significant about how to think about the future? Do you want to hand her the microphone? Yeah. What's the video trying to tell us from MIT? It's not a bad university.
That we shouldn't look as much at the past when we're trying to picture the future.
Maybe a little bit of that, but not the answer I'm looking for, but you're getting us in the right direction, okay? But the past is important because we learned, for example, from the horse manure, horse S and then ... T, horse, but I'll say manure, okay? Horse something. Well, when we study that a little bit more, that past incident tells us something that's important, doesn't it? About what we failed to do. So we need to study mistakes from the past, right? So mistakes are important. What did we do wrong then in the turn of the 20th century about predicting the coming of automobiles?
Well, it said in the video that like no one asked the question of, or no one seemed to think that maybe horses would be on their way out.
Yeah. Could you just write this down? No one asked the question. We call that a failure of imagination. This is a very important thing about what you're about to do together. in scenario planning is you have to be able to now open yourself up to all different kinds of possibilities around one particular event, question that you're going to be addressing in the activity. You will decide what to do that, but then you're going to look ahead and try to understand what's going to happen. We'll get to that in a moment. Imagination is the great human power on this planet, and no machine yet, as far as we know, and no machine in the future, with all the processing power, all the algorithms, all the data storage that can be put into a machine, no one yet has been able to figure out how to give machines imaginations. It's something unique to humans. Because in imaginations, it's not just memory, it's all sorts of other things that come into our imaginations. But I'm going to be asking you now to do what this video is trying to help us to understand, which is free your mind, open your imaginations up to all different kinds of possibilities about what could happen. First, you have to be ready to do that, okay? And that means you have to start calming down. Often I will show another video, but I first don't want to show too many videos and also too many American videos. But I often show a Joe Rogan video where he goes into a sensory deprivation tank. You know, but I get tired of American podcasters and American Joe Rogan. I'm, tired of him and all the Americans. And, we Canadians now, the Americans aren't really our friends that much anymore. That's how it's looking. They've started the fight. We're going to finish it. That's what Canadians do. We go in there. We may be nice. When push comes to shove, we'll fight. We'll fight hard. So if you can think of another way of doing this, it's not Canadian, great, but Joe Rogan often will show in his experience going into a sensory deprivation tank how wonderful it was to go into this tank where he floats in perfect solitude and silence because it freed his mind. It opened his mind. He was so calm. He could think about, everything, history, the future, because he wasn't all rattled all over the place. So the first thing to free your mind that you have to do is calm down. We don't need to meditate right now, but you do need to take your nose and your head out of your machines right now and get ready. Great. So imagination. Could you just write down imagination? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens here right now. And we have a great turnout. So we'll see with the teams. I want to put one team per pod. Okay, so let's do some numbers right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 26 students. We've got 5. So we'll have about 5 per group. And we'll do that in a moment. But here's what I'd like you to do. Whatever your group is, so there's going to be a group over there, there's going to be a group over there, and we're going to get this all going, is I would like you to think of one thing as a group that really matters to you, and you want to think about, well, where will we be in 30 years with this thing? Well, I don't know what it might be. You decide, but you're going to pick that thing. It could be the singularity. I want to figure out, is Ray Kurzweil really correct about this idea? But I haven't really taught much about it to you right now. So you may not want to go there. You may not know enough. But some of you may want to go online and figure out, what is this thing called the singularity? And who's Ray Kurzweil? And yeah, we'd like to think this through for 20 minutes or so. Is he correct? I mean, are we in 2029? Are we coming to this? Or what are some of the other scenarios that might happen? Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's hyping things up. Maybe he's doing what we do a lot in this world today. We hype. we exaggerate. We all like to market ourselves. We all want attention, as Chris Rock said so well after Will Smith, the actor, slapped him at the Academy Awards. And Chris Rock said, you know what the problem is? Everybody's addicted to attention. People are just doing things all over the place today just to get attention. This is not good. So it may be that Ray Kurzweil has said this. Maybe he's doing what the energy critic did, or the energy secretary, soon to be nominated in the United States. Maybe he said something provocative to get attention, but it's not true. At any rate, you decide what it is that you would like to think about in terms of where will this be in 30 years? Let's just try for a moment with all of you, just one example, and then we'll go into the teams together, okay? You're going to be scenario planning around what might be the different things that could happen. You're going to open your imagination up to all different ways that this could evolve. So let's pick one thing, just for the sake of our little activity right now. What's one thing you'd like to project into the future about and understand, where is this going to be in 30 years? Great. Okay. You could take AI, write down AI 30 years from now, if you want, and list 5 different scenarios of where we may be with AI. We're going to decide when we take this up which seem to be the most realistic. Okay? But you need to, as a group, you need to open your imagination up to all different possibilities. You may have a lot of fear, or you may have a lot of excitement around AI, and you may think, well, it's definitely going to be good, and that's all you're thinking about. A good forecaster opens him or herself up to different probabilities and possibilities, and then decides with other tools that I can show you later with what's called a cone of uncertainty. It's a technique, the cone of uncertainty, project management technique. You can begin to decide how to whittle this down to things that look likely 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now. Does this make sense, what I'm asking you to do? Do you understand what I'm asking in terms of pick something that you would like to know, where is it going to be in 30 years? It could be AI. One more example. What else? What's that? Transportation, absolutely. Big one. In fact, even more, if you wanted to get it down to something specific, in transportation, what might be one big thing you really want to figure out? Where is this going, and where might it be in 30 years? Cars? Planes? Space? Flying cars? Flying cars? Okay. Self-driving? Where is self-driving? You're on it, okay? Excellent. Transportation, you could pick something like cars, self-driving cars. Where will they be in 30 years? Is this just a fad? Will somebody take over the market and make a lot of money and not give people access to technology? That's the way it's often worked in human societies. And if you think, if you believe Elon Musk, who says, well, he shares everything, and he believes in open information, tell me about it. Tell me about the things that he's not explaining to you, like he has a brother. Or why does he lie about how he got into the United States? He was illegal. Well, that's known. It's been investigated. His brother is on the record as saying Elon Musk got to Stanford, but he never went. He lied. And once he got into the US as a student, he started building his companies. But he used his student status to get in. Now what he's doing is he's trying to block all the students from coming in. But wealth changes you. Power changes you. It can make you a nasty piece of work. So transportation is great. I don't think I need to give you any more examples. I think you understand. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this is an all-male group. It's going to be a pretty interesting group. You're over there as group 1, okay? You gentlemen. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, over there. You'll stay there for now, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You go over to the number 2. So you're the 5, and then, what's your name again? Rachel, okay, because did you take notes last class? Yeah, because you were good on the notes too. Okay, please stay on the notes for now. Rachel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You can go with that group, that's fine, okay? Go, sorry, into the corner. Sorry to banish you to the corner, but that's your, and we'll get you a pen in a moment, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could you go to that screen over there? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a big one. Want to go with that group over there? You can say it's up to you, okay? But I'll move this group around. It's 7 right now. The rest of you, please go to the final one, and let's see how this. Okay, could you go to the corner? Yeah, thanks.
If everyone is looking for a stylus,
Jake,
they're
yeah,
on the
Jake?
right side of the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That's it,
styluses
they.
are on the right side of the screen.
Brand, yeah. So go over in the corner if you want to participate. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Good. Now the next step is if
Rachel,
this all
the
works.
stylus is on the right side of the screen. For you, it's on the
Can we get all these 5 up there? And let's see, okay? This is the test of whether our tech is really working, and we think we can do it. And then you can start. Okay. So for now, you can leave this here for now. Okay, stay there, and you can stay with this group for now. All right, so that's great. Everybody standing, no sitting. This is a time to get some energy going, that time of the afternoon when everybody is falling apart or asleep. But okay, we'll work on the tech and getting things up here. For now, what I'd like you to do is somebody's going to write, and you begin to think through together on that screen, writing. First, list the thing that you're going to be focusing on, and then start numbering your scenarios 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can write as much as you like by making another slide by putting your finger on these 2 little and doing this. Okay? So you should be able to, whoops, sorry, do this, get more space to write. So let's make sure Maureen will get them up here. Could you just go ahead and put team 1 for now, right there? Okay, who's going to write here? Who has a pen? Go right, team 2. Okay, good. It's working. Rachel, team 3. Team 3. Team 4. Whoever is writing, and you can share the duties. Team 5. And you have color if you want. Great. Okay. So now begin to think about, anytime, get going, talking, what is it you're going to do in terms of your topic, and then start writing out the different scenarios. 30 years from now, when you are much older, where will this be? Transportation, I think. Andrew, is it Andrew? Want to do? Yeah, Andrew, go ahead. Anyways, go ahead, guys. Way to go. I think we can do this. Yeah, nice. And then for all of you online right now, I will engage over here. I can do it on audio. Okay. So, Keshwan, it's Lon right now, and Maureen is working on the different pods. Can you hear me, Keshwan? You should be able to. Go ahead and say yes in the live chat if you can hear me. Excellent. Arshdeep, good. Okay. Corson, how you doing? Good. Okay. So, I would like all of you to participate in this activity too, as best you can. However, before you do that, do you have any questions for me? I'm standing right now at the big board underneath the live chat, so I'm fully connected to you in the live chat. Okay, so you can respond to me in the live chat, or we'll just continue. So, is there anything you would like to ask me right now? Any of you, Keshwan, Arshdeep, Corson, Akalesh, before I give you your direction for the activity. And you can see Maureen Maureen is cutting around the room right now and showing the different pods. I want to give you all a chance to do the same thing. So should I just give you the direction, Corson? Is that good enough, or is there anything you want to ask me? A question? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over as soon as Maureen has a moment. I'll come and I can type for them. Or are you okay? Yeah, you're good. Okay, I'm going to come over and I'm going to type in the live chat the direction for all of you while Maureen is working on the cameras. Yeah, great. Okay. So, Keshwan, this message is for all of you online right now. It is Lon speaking to you from the podium while the 5 teams are working at the individual pods. In about 15 minutes, we are going to take up what they are all writing on their screens. At that time, we will also take up what you write here in the live chat. Here is what I would like you to write. Okay, so make sure I'm going to write you. I'm just giving you some directions now. Okay, great. Yeah, go ahead and play with that while I'm. Okay. Corson, did you hear me when I gave the directions to everybody in terms of what I'm asking them to do, or do you want me to put this into the live chat, or do you feel you know what I'm asking you to do? If you can get on your microphone, even better, but if not, live chat. Okay, but let's see what comes back in a moment. Good, robotics, biological research, great. Banking, good. Transportation, excellent, everybody, you're on it. Nice. Robotics, biological research. Social media, nice. Social media 30 years from now. I want to hear about that one. Different scenarios. Great. And we have the 5. Nice. We got it. Way to go. Is it? Yeah, it's working, isn't it? It's great. Yeah, I know. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's happening with the. So I'll put this in the live chat, just and then they'll do what they can. I don't know what's happening with Corson, Akalesh. Is it Akalesh, Keshwan, Arshdeep? Who's where they are? Right? They could be walking their dog or having a meal, and who knows? Okay. So let's see for them, please. Medicine. Good, Keshwan. Go for it. Keshwan, think about medicine 30 years from now. Different scenarios. Okay, 5 different. Excellent. Keshwan. Okay, Keshawn. Is it Kashan? Kashan. Excellent, Kashan. Now, give 5 different scenarios as to where you think medicine will be in 30 years. It's very broad, I know, but I want you to be thinking of different kinds of things. 5 different scenarios. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Wherever you feel you've landed on a good camera angle, just study it. That's where we want to be. You got it. Like, be the director now. That's good. I used to do this too. Look at the screen and, so this is what you want to be doing. Is it working? Play with it, have fun with it. Great. Okay. But that's a nice shot. Works. Yeah. Okay, keep going. That's good, everybody. 10 more minutes. I'm going to give you 10 more minutes. Flying cars, self-driving cars everywhere, delivery by drones. Good. Could something bad happen with transportation? Like, not everything may happen that's good for us. Think of a dark scenario with transportation. Just one. Yes. Go on. They get into the self-driving cars start crashing into each other. That's a scenario. Dark. Good. Banking. Excellent. Is everything that you see in 30 years going to be good in banking, or could something happen that's darker? That's right. That's right. Yep. Good. It's Maria, right? Is it Maria? Good, Maria. Keep going. Yeah, regulation. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Do you know how important cryptocurrency is? Do you know that Elon Musk is going to be the new, he's going to be heading up the director of governmental efficiency in the United States? Like, you'll have an official to cut all sorts of excess money. So, and he calls the Department of Governmental Efficiency Doge. And apparently that's a meme-based cryptocurrency. So here is a government agency in the US is going to be set up, and the acronym for it, Doge, comes from the world of cryptocurrency. Whoa. It's kind of just, I don't know, it makes me uneasy. But that's good, Maria. Keep thinking of those different scenarios. Okay? Great. What's that?
I don't see you coming because you're below my shoulder.
I always just appear. Jake, I always just appear. That's right. I materialize. That's my job. I'm there. Good. Social media 30 years from now. God, I wish I could have that crystal ball and really know where it's going to be.
Horrible. It's going to be burning. It's going to be a toxic waste inside a toxic waste inside a volcano inside another toxic waste.
Sounds like Lord of the Rings and Mount. How many of you are Lord of the Rings fans? Or you like Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Is it? Really?
That's a special kind of geek.
That's great. So from the book.
Yeah,
From the book. Wow. And the movie too? Like he left. Wow. Well, Lord of the Rings, what's the mountain where the Frodo and the others go? And it's a really dark place where, oh God, the Golem is, and I'm getting. Is it Mount Doom, or there's another one at the end? I forget. But anyways, yes, yeah. But when you think of the different scenarios, are all of these good, positive, encouraging scenarios, or are any of them dark? Which one's dark? Dark? Okay. Doom. Mordor is the one I was thinking. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, just be ready to explain why some of these are the ones you've chosen, why you would choose a dark scenario. But the most important is let your imagination go. If you have an assumption about something, test your assumption and go, is that really fair for me to say that? But use your imaginations. If you can do this through conversation, the best. Try not to reach to your device. Okay? This should be you guys using your human brains, okay? Good. Way to go. Yep. Okay, keep going 5 more minutes. Then we're going to take this up. Well, I think we finally got the think tanky going, you know? Got the 5 screens are working. Everybody has a stylus. Oh, great. Okay, good. We'll try that. Okay, when
I can unmute them also.
okay, so you know what we'll do is for the take up, they'll stay there and we'll do it. Okay, great. And okay, when we're ready in 5. Will the online and the recording hear this? We don't know, do we? Okay, well, we'll don't worry about it for now, okay? I'll check it on the recording end. Okay, great. Keep going 5 more minutes, okay? And then we're going to take this up. You all have microphones at the bottom of your screens. So we're going to get to those in a moment, okay? Our planet has a big hole in it today. So oh, I got to get some masking tape and all right. So let's see what's happening online. The guys online. So Kashan, medicine could be in a very robotic place, like in surgery, such as brain surgeries. Also changes where AI could address your medical needs instead of a person. It could also take a dark turn where we may not be able to find vaccines or cures. Kashan, how might it take a dark turn? What forces might be responsible for it taking a dark turn? What might think about that and then write that out, okay, in the chat as you've done. What might be a reason why the dark turn would happen? Okay, 3 minutes. Get ready for take up. And we're going to do the take up while you're at the screens, okay, with the microphone. So stay there. Yep, we're going to stay on our feet for this whole thing. Yep, make sure. Yep, we're not going to sit down. We've got to be on our feet for this. Nice. Team 1, team 2, team 3. Keep them all. When we go to a particular team, then how quickly can you make this panel 1? Oh, just like that. Very nice. Okay, good. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we'll keep it over at team 1 for now. Get ready, team 1. We're going to start in a minute. Okay, team 1, and you have a microphone, by the way, underneath there. So we'll see if it works. So 1 minute, we're going to do the take up. We're going to go around with team 1, team 2, and you can see up here on the big board that we have the cards. And thank you all for being the kind of a test case class. This is the first class we've ever done with all of this working like this, and it seems to be working, which is great. Okay, so now let's see what kind of insight we get. Okay, so you're ready. Excellent. You can still write on yours if you want, but we're going to start with team 1. And who for team 1 is going to take some questions and explain? Get ready by the microphone. Any one of you. Okay, go ahead. Manish, you want to be? Okay. Okay. Let's see. So Manish, go to that microphone and speak. Good. Okay. We got it working. So, Manish, could you tell us what you chose and what you've written? You can just read from here, but just go ahead. Tell us what's there. Microphone. Talking to the microphone. I know it's a little. Yeah, I know. It's just be close to it. I don't know if okay. It's okay. It's a little. Yep. Yeah. What, gentlemen? Which one do you think is the likely scenario of the ones that you have there? Do you want to just circle it for us? Which one do you think is the likely scenario around what you've chosen with robotics and automation? What do you think, Barack? You want to help him or the others too? So you would say human relations will degrade. So in 2055, the world, when I probably have had a funeral at that point, although no, I plan to be here. I'm 62, just turned 62 in December, and in 30 years, I'll be 92. So I'm going to be here. That's the plan. I can expect a world where relations between humans has been degraded. Okay, let's leave that for now. We'll move on. I'm starting to get depressed, but that's okay. You know, we are seeing a degradation of humanity because of technology. I'm not the first person to say this, nor are you. Many people are talking about this. If we believe that that might happen, we better start trying to make sure it doesn't happen. Okay. Degradation of human relations. Let's go to team 2, okay? Just read out loud what you have there into our piece of technology there called a microphone that works, and then go ahead. Let's see if tech is working or is tech being stupid and stubborn. Good. Thank you, tech. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Sure. Not chemical or synthetic, but organically based drugs, like from plants? From plants? Human organs. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Hmm. Any laser treatment? Laser treatment. Oh, for non-invasive surgery, we call that. Non-invasive. Okay, great. Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. Mm. Superhumans. Cutest printer. Or the cutest critter you can. Oh, it might be me or yeah, I'll back up. Okay, let me stop for a second because I want to make sure everyone has a chance. We'll see. Pick one. Which one do you think is the most likely in 30 years to start to develop into reality? What would you, the advanced treatment? That's okay. Could you circle that, please, or make a note? Good. Team 2. Degradation of human relations over here in 30 years. Advanced treatments, non-invasive surgery. Number 3, Team 3, could you read out loud? And Rachel or Jake or anybody else? And go ahead. Let's see if that microphone still works. Yeah, go ahead. Yep. Yep. Oh, major corporation. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh. How many eyes are on you? Yeah. Yeah. Memories. Memories. Yes, yes. Well, the addiction to attention that this creates. Sure. And then finally, masses may move away entirely from traditional social media to older organic forms of communication. What might those be? Yes. Threads. Or I don't know, that's Mark Zuckerberg's thing. Yeah. Right. Okay. Sure, sure. Okay. Rachel, you want to say something? Then then circle the one you think that you would like to choose. Okay. Go ahead. Huh. My brain to your brain. My brain. Huh. Wow. So that's would be the final one you're thinking along those lines. So this would be very efficient communication without that kind of middle technology. In other words, if I'm looking at Rachel right now, I could send you my thoughts. I don't want to know what my thoughts are. What happens if I don't like my thoughts, but they just come to me and now you have my thoughts? Whew. Okay, well, anyways, we'll leave that for now. Excellent. Okay, we're opening ourselves up to thinking about what might happen using our imaginations. Number 4, team 4, please go ahead. Yes. Yep. Right, right. Our data is safe. Exactly. Exactly. So would you pick that as your sort of most likely scenario with banking, that there's going to be more laws to ensure safe private data? More laws? Mm, yeah, and things continue to be anonymous. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to circle that? Would you say that's your choice of really where? Oh, keep going. Okay, good. Yes. Sure, sure. Mm. Sure. Well, you know what we might have to be aware of too in the future is if you happen to see in the next weeks in Oshawa, Whitby, or Pickering a big bulldozer driving down the street at 3 in the morning, it just might be going to your local ATM and crashing into that ATM and pulling out the machine. Have you been watching some of the news lately that's been happening at malls in Toronto? They just drove a huge bulldozer. I don't know where they got it from, a construction site. In the middle of the night, somebody's driving boat. They just go up to the ATM, they just crash in, and they put the shovel in and bring the ATM out. Maybe that's a good thing. Get rid of all the ATMs and facilitate. Just be aware if you see a bulldozer being driven down Simcoe Street at 3 in the morning, maybe you should ask yourself, where is it going right now? Anyways, okay. So which one would you pick? Just circle one. I want to make sure we get team 5 in and let you go on time, okay? Go ahead. Pick one that you think, because we're going to review this next week before we begin the next class, okay? So, and we're going to vote on these. We're going to vote. Crypto instead of gold. Well, okay. We'll return to that next week. Excellent. Team 5, okay? Transportation, here we go. We're just identifying for now. Next week, we're going to vote on all of this. Go ahead, Andrew. Is it working? 5? Let's see. If not, good. We will see this. We will definitely see cars airborne. Okay. Go on. Yeah. Yeah. Underwater trains. Underwater trains. Ooh, nice. Okay, and then. Ooh. Nice. Cyber attacks. Yeah. Bad actors getting into self-driving cars and just like, go-karts smashing into, or, bumper cars. Somebody gets an algorithm to tell all the cars in Whitby that are self-driving, could you all just sort of drive into each other for now? That would be interesting. Okay. Sounds a bit like the 407 was today when I was driving up. So could you please pick one, just circle one, and we'll be ready for next week? What do you think? What do you think has not that what you would like, but what you think has a very realistic chance of becoming much more real in 30 years? That you really think? Underwater trains, wider use of magnet levitation. Lovely. Okay. So we're just about out of time. Stay there for a second. To make this really easy for all of you to get your 3 out of 3, I would recommend that you go straight to the discussion post now and put your question in. If you don't have time to do that, do it in the next 24 hours so things are fresh. But in order for all of you to get your 3 out of 3, you know what the drill is, right? You're good with that? You understand? Then I'm going to let you go. I'll see you next week for history's lessons, and we're going to take this all up. Leave everything there for now. We'll save those. Yes. The clipboard. Where is the clipboard? Yeah. Make sure you sign the clipboard. Yeah. Where is the clipboard? Who has the clipboard? Okay, good. You want to make sure, otherwise I don't know that you were here. Okay? Anything we did today, one question, okay? That's it, into the discussion post. Class 2 discussion board. Thank you all for some good imagination. Have a great week. And yeah, well, you should. Okay. Thank you, everybody online. See you all next week. Exactly. And we'll see how this audio worked in the end. I'm not entirely sure. Thank you, Rachel.